I'm making this video because a lot of people across the Tekken rank spectrum have been asking me, and this is from people that just started the game to people that are in the higher ranks, like Tekken King, Tekken Emperor. What am I supposed to do when someone's just smashing in my face? Like I feel like I'm losing to way worse players because their options are just cover so many of mine, and their aggression is not stopping. Like I don't understand how to deal with all this. And this is really sad because it starts this dangerous cycle of because when someone mashes on you, it makes you want to mash back, and it makes you want to keep doing that, and it just creates a cycle of garbage players that are shit at the game because it's contagious. It's really bad. So this video is if you feel like you're getting there, or if you feel like you're having trouble dealing with this shitty playstyle of just mashing, this video is for you. Before I start, some notes. I have a Discord. I don't know what I'll do with it. People have been asking. Maybe I'll do some coaching, play some viewer games, whatever. Subscribe. I don't make money off these videos until I hit 1K, and it would be nice. And come meet me at Evo. I'll be there. Drop me a note if you're coming by in the comments or on Discord. And yeah, would love to play some games with some of my viewers. And yeah, I guess the first thing to start on, why you're losing to mashers is understanding what mashing is and why it's effective. So, I mean, you guys play Tekken, like you understand what mashing is, but I guess for more context, it's just throwing moves into someone's face, not stopping that aggression, maybe doing cool flowcharts like a safe string into like a move with like a safe string into a move with pushback to catch people jabbing into you, stuff like that. Like, when you're not stepping off the gas, that's when you're mashing. And it's actually a very, very weak strategy to do because in Tekken, whoever's pressing buttons is at a disadvantage. And one of the things that I've heard from a lot of players is, I don't understand what to do when people are doing a lot of plus frame pressure or, just in my face with safe moves. Like, I don't understand when it's my turn. And I guess a good example of this is Dragunov. Like, he's always plus, it feels like. He's just magnetized to you, just always doing random bullshit. And it's hard for people to deal with, like, the combination of plus frames and also, like, you're dead if you get hit. Like, it's a very difficult situation to deal with. But the way that you deal with mashing is understanding the pattern that they're doing. Because in Tekken, there's a core principle, and the principle is if you know when someone's going to do something and a rough idea of what properties that move is going to have, you're at a huge advantage. So Tekken is all about prediction. It's all about reading the opponent. And someone that's just mashing into your face and making weird decisions, just like making very obvious timing decisions, like one move after another, it's very easy to check out both of those boxes. And for example, people that mash are not going to be good players. They're not playing at a high enough level to understand what their flowcharts are and how to avoid them. So, this could be Garyu Dragunov, this could be Bushin Dragunov, this could be Tekken Emperor Dragunov, and they're still going to do the same bullshit. They're going to do wall running 2 into back 1 plus 2 into wall running 2 into back 1 plus 2, or wall running 2 into down forward 1 or down forward 2. But if you notice, when I do these flowcharts against this Cassiopeia, he's stepping every single one of them. And that's kind of one of the core principles here is I'm not making it very difficult to understand my timing, and I have these moves that are all steppable to one direction that are very easy to flowchart with. And because of that, an opponent that's sharp, an opponent that can make these predictions, can destroy me for pressing into him. I guess the hard part there is, how do you make those reads? Maybe you don't even understand the properties of your own moves. Maybe you don't understand the timings of your own patterns. But you're not playing against the best players ever. Like, you're playing against Mr. Masher and Bushin. You're playing against Mr. Masher and Garyu. Like, these are not Albert Einstein level players. It's very easy to find their patterns once you think about it a bit. And in Tekken, you have a ton of time to think. So if you just hold this block, right? How many down twos do you think it's going to take before someone dies? How many lows do you think it's going to take before someone dies? It takes a very long time, and because of that, if you're just holding the block against a masher, eventually they're going to run out of flowcharts. Like they're representing this flowchart, maybe they represent this flowchart, but they're gonna run out. And you have kind of a good idea of like when they're gonna throw their next move because they're just doing it as soon as they can. And maybe you have an idea of what that next move is gonna be. So now that we have that read on when they're gonna throw the move and what that next move is gonna be, now it's time to figure out, how do I beat it? And usually the answer is sidestep, because um, a lot of the times moves that people flowchart into are very fast and linear. So like people would do like plus frames into down forward one, or plus frames into like a fast launcher. So these moves are all like very linear. Fast moves tend to be linear, and slower moves tend to be more homing, right? So this is a 22 frame mid that is dragging down only homing mid. So, if you see they're doing fast moves, maybe you try a sidewalk. If you see they're doing slow moves, maybe you jab them out actually. Or if you see they're doing slow moves, maybe you do a big backdash. Or um, there's a lot of options that you have. And Tekken is very intuitive to a point. You don't need to know the properties of every move to understand how to beat them. So what I just said, fast moves are linear. Now maybe after you block the running two, you sidewalk. Or if they're doing a big move, after you block the running two, maybe you disrespect, you mash back, But identifying what the next move is going to be, holding the block so you understand what the next move is going to be, and just experimenting, trying the side steps, trying the backdashes, trying the disrespect options. That's going to be how you become a better Tekken player and how to beat these mashers. But what I'm asking you to do is very difficult. So, for example, this Dragunov is doing running 2, you start stepping, and you're getting clipped by this down forward 4, which tracks to that side. And it's going to piss you off. You're going to be like, what the hell? Like, he caught me, tracking is broken in Tekken 8, This is going to piss you off. But you're never going to learn if you don't try. And eventually you'll learn, some characters have moves that tend to track to one direction, even though they're fast, or, most of this character's moves tend to track to this direction. You'll learn this over time, but you're never going to learn it if you're not actually applying this in game. If you never ever get clipped by Dragunov's down forward 4 because you're just standing there, or you're like trying to mash back or power crush, you're never going to learn. You're gonna learn when you get clipped and when you get pissed off and you feel like, oh, like I'm gonna step the other way because I want to launch him for doing this transgression against me. And at the end of the day, even if you do get clipped, even if your disrespect option does get punished or you had the wrong read, you only have to guess a couple times to win. And in my opinion, guessing right once and getting a launch is worth 10 of getting clipped by a down forward 4. But that's just me. And I hope that after watching this video, it's going to be you too. I'm moving towards the end of the video, but I want to have some concluding thoughts and then move on to, some common flowcharts that you can easily figure out the solution for. But my main concluding thought here is someone that's mashing on you is giving you half their game away. They're telling you exactly when they're going to throw a move, and the answer is right after another. And in Tekken, if you know what's going to happen next, and you have a rough idea of what is going to happen next, you have a very good chance of winning the game. The way to capitalize on these opportunities is to be more aware, is to give yourself opportunities to download by holding the block and experimenting with what actually beats the opponent's options. Those options could be sidewalking, disrespecting, crouching, holding the block punishing. This game has 1 trillion options on how to get out of sticky offensive situations. You just have to be willing to learn them. So here are a few common flowcharts. You don't need to watch this part of the video, but it might be helpful. There's 3 hit strings. For some reason, people feel like they can just press into the second hit, or like after the second hit, like 2 hits and it's done. It's not, you'll get clipped. Just wait till everything is done, and if you don't know it, just lose your turn. Like, it's fine. You have a lot of opportunities to get a turn back. There's plus frame spam. You can tend to just interrupt these with a jab. And if they start doing frame traps, which tend to be fast mids, like this is a I-12 mid after a +4 mid, you can step them one way or the other. And finally, there's a very dangerous one that people tend to do in higher ranks, which is a mid-high, which is, tend to be safe, but they look punishable, and people will try to jab out after it to take the turn back or even punish it. And people know this, so they'll do the mid-high to some evasive launcher. And if you try to jab out there, you dead. And the way to beat this is just to hold block after mid-high, or even, try ducking the mid-high, because you do get a lot of reward out of it. And that's most of what you need to know for grinding rank, to be honest. People are not very creative. These 4 flowcharts are what tend to take people to their peak rank, and they just end up staying there because they don't know anything else. Well, besides that, thanks for watching the video, and join my Discord if you need any more help. And let me know what videos I should make next. Yeah, peace.